Hi there, Ken and Danny here, and today we are taking a closer look at this beautiful Merida 905 Scultura racing machine. This is the 2014 model, and we have already November 2016, but since Merida has already launched the newer generation from 2016 of the Scultura bike, and these older models are still available in some stores. You can get them in a very reasonable price, just as I did. So I'm happy that I have opportunity to show you this bike and tell you a little bit about it. The bike looks just awesome. Those graphics, black, white and green, just fit perfectly. You may already know that I love these colors, just as I have in my Cannondale Cat 10 and this cyclocross Merida as well. But here we've got some Giro d'Italia pink color, because this is the bike of Merida Lampre road racing team. So I'm very happy to see this bike and see more how the bike has been built. We've got, of course, a carbon frame with a full carbon fork, and Scultura means in Italian the sculpture. The name is actually fitable because the frame has been made from around 400 different pieces of carbon fiber. So let's take a closer look at it. The head tube is just awesome. It's very large and it also looks very robust. As we can see here, X-taper 1.5 means that we've got a tapered head tube. Well, it's nothing new, but this one is really huge actually. And tapered 1.5 means that we've got the 1/1/8 bearing at the upper end of the head tube and a huge 1.5 inch bearing down here, and that makes the head tube much more stiff, strong. We have the better feel of the bike and much more control in different circumstances. And also the fork will perform much better because the steering tube of the fork is tapered as well, so it fits the head tube. So this design is just awesome. And the bike on the Ultegra components with some FSA Energy hollow forged crank and Fulcrum Racing comp wheels will weigh less than 8 kilos. The Merida say 7.99 or 96 or something like that, but my scale actually displayed 7.9 kilos without the pedals in medium large size, so it's very light. As we can see, the upper tube makes one very beautiful line that's going from the head tube through the joint with the seat tube, and then also the seat stays to the rear derailleur. So it's shaped very beautifully. As we can see here, we've got the stronger connection between the upper tube and the seat tube, a strong seat post clamp, just as we had in this cyclocross bike. And I actually thought that Merida did this especially for cyclocross, but now we've got this design in road bike as well. Here we can see some nano matrix carbon, and what that means is that those carbon fibers, all those pieces, these are made up together with the epoxy, and the epoxy structure is also filled with some special nano molecules, and that makes the frame even stiffer, even stronger. Merida say that it's particularly helping the frame to be more heat resistant. So this is quite awesome technology. Here also we can see flex stay, and that means that our chain stays and the seat stays are made in order to take some vibrations, to absorb some vibration. And actually you can really see that the seat stays are flexible indeed. So the bike must be very comfortable. Another thing that Merida doesn't say on the frame, but they say it in the catalog, is that We've got some double chamber technology here. Double chamber technology means that in some places the tubes of the frame have additional rib inside, so that the tube has actually two chambers inside, and the rib makes the tube even more stiff and also heat resistant. So double chamber technology is another one to make this super light frame very, very strong and stiff. We have no BB30 here. We've got the external bottom bracket with the bearings, with the external bearings. Alright, from the Ultegra components we've got only the shifters and the derailleurs and the cassette, because as I said, the crankset and the chain come from FSA, and also the brakes are not genuine Shimano. These are some Merida PRC brakes that should perform quite well. What I don't like about the design of this bike is those barrel adjustments, because they just cover one another, and if you wanna adjust, for example, the front derailleur wire, it's very, very uncomfortable, and I don't think it was well thought out. So this is something I would actually say, Merida, you could have done this better. Otherwise the bike looks not only clean, but it is really, really well designed. Also the internal cable routing makes no rubbing between the wires and the frame. I'm gonna show you the bike from the other side. Alright, this is the bike from the non-drive side, so that you can see a whole bottom bracket joint, which is actually huge. It is really huge. Just as our head tube, the bottom bracket and the connection with the main tube, with the chainstays and the seat tube is just, you can see how huge it is. This huge insert here makes me feel comfortable about the bottom bracket stiffness, and I hope those frames wouldn't be making any strange noises as many super light carbon frames do. The frame is also Di2 ready, so that you can buy for yourself the electronic group set and mount it on this bicycle. And where does Merida come from? Does it come from Germany? As you can see here, it says German design and engineering, so it's being designed and engineered by Germans. And here at the back of the seat tube we can see some small sign, design in Europe. It's actually more noticeable, but handmade in Taiwan. So these bikes come from Taiwan. Well, producing bikes in Taiwan doesn't mean that those wouldn't be of the highest quality, since Cannondale is producing their bikes there as well. But you know, all those marketers would rather like us to think that these bikes are German and not from Taiwan, so that we can read this German design and engineering here. The wheels are specifically made for Merida Fulcrum racing comb. This is nothing like you know, the highest level, the high end of the wheels, but these are just strong enough. We've got 32 spokes in rear and 18 in the front wheel, so it's just fine. And also those have these Giro d'Italia pink decals, which look really, really great. As for the cable routing, it does look fine. The shape of the cables that we can see here is, in my opinion, is just okay. It's just fine. The only thing I don't like about the wire of the rear brake is that I think it's too short, because when I'm braking, look what's happening. It's moving so much, and I'm not really sure that this moving of the wire is helping us, because in my opinion it makes the braking a bit more too soft. So I would rather like to have a little bit longer wire with a little bit more sharp angle, so that there wouldn't be that much of the movement. So this is really lovely machine. One thing I wanted to tell you is that the head tube is also not only huge but also long. In the medium large size we've got here 175 millimeters. For example, comparing to my Cat 10 bicycle in size 56 centimeters, I have 155, so it's a 20 millimeters difference. So I think this one is as high as long as in Cat 8, which is made a little bit more for comfort. So this is the specificity of the geometry of these bikes. I was very lucky to buy this one in a very good price, so it's a great chance for me to make a review of this bike and also to see how those high-end carbon bikes look like. I hope that this video was helpful and interesting for you guys. If you've got more questions, just put them in the comments section below and I'll be happy to answer those, and we'll see you soon in another video. Bye bye.